Hey there, Shankar, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing episode. I like this three-way screen. So let's get this thing started. Before we jump into the exact segments. Moby, how's your day? Mufti Billal, how's your day? Assalamu alaikum. What's going on? Mufti
Alaikum
Billal, where
salam.
are you right now? You
Assalamu
seem
alaikum.
like
Can you
you're.
guys hear me?
Yes, we can. You seem like you're in a fancy cafe. I feel like I want to be there with you, but I only have a water bottle. But you have a coffee.
Yes, I am in a cafe right now. Unfortunately, I am not at home, so I'm in a cafe, and I thought, that's the best place where I can get internet at the moment.
This is phenomenal. It
He's
looks
always.
No,
amazing.
I am in a cafe for real. I'm not in a marriage setting, I promise.
it's. When I first saw it, I'm like, wow, that's a very nice club. Astaghfirullah. But no. It's
Yeah,
definitely a
I'm not
cafe.
in a club or any other
No, no,
club of any kind or anything like that. So let's get that disclaimer out there
Gu-
first thing. Yeah.
Guys, you can see how much effort the Mufti takes. How like he's there. He has to be out, but he's there for the show. So I hope you guys all, and I know you do. We get your comments. We love your comments. I hope you appreciate the time the Mufti Sub gives us.
Lovely, fantastic.
Thank you.
And Moby, what's going on? How's Australia? How are the spiders?
Man, do you know what? The spiders are okay, but everyone like it's funny because the Mufti always talks about he loves Australia, but he's not going to come here because spiders and sharks and whatnot. And I tell people that what, like in terms of sharks, no one has died from a shark here since
Yet,
1965, but there was one passing last week actually. So 1965 to last week, you're completely fine. Like those are great odds. You know what I mean? You have nothing to worry about. Nothing
it
to
is.
worry about.
It's a good. It's a good cause. Y-
Like,
Sorry.
maybe I actually met somebody in France. My doctor was defending Australia a lot, and she was saying that how much she loved Australia, how beautiful the country is, and she said, you never hear about Australia in the news, but only 2-3 times in the year. One time is when there's a fire, and then the two other time is when there's a shark attack. But other than that, you never hear about Australia.
That's pretty
But
good. It's
I
pretty good.
wanted to say, but I didn't say it. I said you also hear about Australia when they torpedo military deal.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. When they let down Macron, they promised to buy a bunch of torpedoes and then they reneged. Yes,
exactly.
that's true.
That was a bad
That's
one.
true.
That was a bad one. But I didn't say it.
That's
I thought,
true.
you leave it.
On behalf of the Australian, I guess, government, I apologize. I guess I actually think it's a good thing we didn't buy any torpedoes, but I'll leave it at that.
Hey man, if the torpedoes are being used to make sushi by hunting fish and then making sushi, it's fine. But
It's fine.
but if I think, yeah, it should be fine. Anywho, okay, let's get the show started. Before I know we're gonna go on a lot of tangent topics. Mufti Bilal, we're gonna start off with your segment. After that, we're gonna go into the market update, and then inshallah, right after that, we're gonna go into the MRHB updates. There's a lot of exciting updates this week, guys. We've had our LBank launch. We have our upcoming Sahal wallet launch. So
Yeah.
a lot of exciting things that's coming up. But before that, Mufti Bilal, the floor is yours. Let us know what's going on. What are the discussions that we're having today from your side?
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
No. Yes. So today I was meant to talk about the CRO token.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think it has changed name. So it is from the crypto.com protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And the CRO token is changing its name now to, I think, Chronos.
Yes.
And uh, recently, the SGB has released a banner to say that CRO it's is compliant. Okay, it is compliant to do its trading, to buy and sell. So before I explain what the token is exactly, I will just tell you very briefly what the what do you call it? What the protocol is about, the platform it's about. Basically, the crypto.com is an exchange, like you have Coinbase exchange, etc. And on this platform, you can trade various tokens. You can do exchange, and they also have other services, based on lending and borrowing. Now, the CRO token is a native token, which is going to be called Chronos. The CRO token is a native token, and with that token, you can actually interact in the ecosystem. But you can also use that token to make purchases in the outside world. So it's acting as a bridge between crypto and fiat money. So what they are trying to do is they're basically trying to sign up many many retailers to accept payment of the CR token instead of a fiat money itself. And they also have a card. So I think they're partnering up, or they have partnered with Visa, and you will be able to have a Visa card issued by crypto.com, and you can use that card to make purchases from your crypto holdings directly without using the fiat money. There was something I also read, that even if a shop does not want to take crypto, I think at the time of making the purchase, crypto.com will sell your crypto in exchange of fiat, and send the fiat money directly to the retailer. I don't know how true that information is, but nevertheless, the CRO token is acting as a bridge, is basically a payment token. So for that reason, to have that token and to buy it and sell it, or to use it as a payment mechanism is absolutely fine. However, one thing I will say is that when it comes to exchange, I personally believe that in the long term, we need a bit more clarity about which native token of an exchange is actually permissible or not. The reason why I'm saying that is that you will probably have seen that sometimes some of the native token of exchanges, we have declared them to be non-Sharia compliant based on the activities that are found in the in the activities that are found in on the platform itself. Some of these platforms, they have, the value of the native token is derived directly from the activities that are found on the platform, and these activities are mainly non-Sharia compliant. So, and that can be problematic. In the long term, we will have, obviously, we are doing some research into this to actually determine how a token is deriving its value on an exchange. And probably we will have better parameters in place to actually, determine whether a token is completely Sharia compliant or not. At this moment in time, we're just looking, at the overall activities, and we're looking also at the the objective of the token, and we are basing, our our ruling on this sort of criteria. So for now, we are confident to say, the CRO token is absolutely Sharia compliant. But remember that all our rulings are not forever. They will have to be reviewed, and they have been reviewed. The banners that we have issued, these tokens, they have been a second screening already. So in the past, probably 8 months or so, they went twice through a screening. So we screened them initially, and then before publishing the banner, we screened them again about roughly 4 months later. And we will keep on doing that. And if ever we do find something has changed into a protocol, then the banner, the ruling on the banner will have to change as well. This is why on the banner you also have a date. Pay attention to that, because when we issue the banner, there is a date, like for example, January 2022, February 2022, because we don't know that whether in 6 months' time we will have to issue a new banner in relation to the same token. So that's that really for me. CRO token or Chronos token is absolutely fine, and you can just buy and sell them, no problem.
Fantastic. I've been holding it from like some God knows how long. So alhamdulillah, that's great. Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Mufti Billal, for your time,
No worries.
your answer. Take care of yourself, and
Thank you.
salam alaikum.
See you guys, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Okay, Moby, my friend. What's your take on Chronos or Sierra? Have you invested in it? Do you know about it? Any opinions on it?
Yeah, I mean, I did invest in it, and I did sell at about 25 cents before it skyrocketed to almost $1.
Yes.
I think their business model is very, very interesting. It's definitely
Mm-hmm.
one of the ones for the masses, like
Mm-hmm.
Crow, Coinbase, FTX. Obviously, the Mufti did a review on FTX and kind of deemed it likely not to be halal. I think they're when you use these apps, they're very it's like my first crypto. Like they're great, you know what I mean? And like
Mm-hmm.
not that necessarily. I actually didn't really have much to talk about on the Super Bowl ads. Actually, I do have a story on the Super Bowl ads, but when you look at who's sort of perpetuating, who's investing Formula One cars, who's advertising, it's crypto.com, it's FTX, it's all these guys. So I love what they're doing from a point of building the macro environment and the tailwinds for crypto. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
investing in it, um, I mean, it's okay, but it's not something that I think exchange tokens right now, it's not where I'm putting my money. From a long term point of view. So hopefully that answers your question. But it's not an area that I see as 2, 3, 4x, unlike layer ones and layer zeros right now.
See, look, with crypto.com, when I initially kind of brought it to public, like through my social media and all that stuff, which I think was 8 months ago, and at that time, I think it was at 20 cents or something like that. And when it hit $1, I told everybody take profits, get out. Just time to get out, take your chance and get. And that's how, as you know me, I've always told people to take profit. So, and I hold quite a bit still, and yeah, it's a good investment to have. I think even also as a long term, I may differentiate or differ from you on certain points as if it's for your investments or not. I believe it is, and the reason why is because you're also a marketeer, but I'm marketing crypto. I know the value of marketing and the quality of marketing that they do, and then with that, they're combined with phenomenal, um, easy to use UI UX based solutions for new crypto users. And right now, the majority of crypto users are new crypto users. So that and I think for the next 5 years, the majority of users are going to be new crypto users, and so I think they will be able to use that niche market exponentially themselves to the point that they can compete with BNB. Obviously, similar market caps, not similar token values. There's a difference here. Okay, market cap is different than token value. So similar market cap, and yeah, but I mean, not financial advice. This is all that I'm thinking that what it looks like, and yeah, I think it's a good project to check out. Maybe not right now. It might be, in my opinion, it might be a decent time to check it out
Yeah, I
because of
mean,
the
to clarify that, it's good projects at good entry points. I still feel like it can go down. I still feel
yeah.
like there's some, and we'll talk about that in the market update. It's very much linked to the macro direction of Bitcoin and where the crypto market
Okay,
goes.
fair enough.
So,
Well then,
so no, I agree. I agree. I think it's really good. For me, it's a selfish thing, Ahmed, because I sold it at 25 cents. So it's very tough for me to buy back at double the rate. But for me, I think there's definitely better entry
hey,
points coming. But you're
look,
right. You're absolutely right.
hey, you know what? You know about how this works. It's about what's the next opportunity, right? If it's gonna go higher, then maybe sometimes buying at twice the cost is worth it. I don't know. Make your call. A new market update. This is a good merge into market update. What's going on with Bitcoin? Are we gonna crash and burn, or is it time for a blue sky? Oh man,
Yeah,
Trudeau.
I mean, the first one, I'll quickly explain what it is, and I'm really keen to get your thoughts on this, Ahmed. You're
Uh huh.
you're our resident jet setter. You're just for everyone's reference. Sometimes he's in Pakistan, in the UK. It's back in Canada. So I'm actually really we haven't had a chance to catch up since you've been back home. So I really want to
Hmm.
kind of get your thoughts on it. But just to kind of clue everyone in on what actually happened. So Justin Trudeau, who I always thought was like, like the human walking Ken doll. I thought this guy's like a beautiful looking human being. He always seemed to come up with pro-Muslim things. I was always a fan, right? But anyway, so he recently invoked the Emergency Act to deal with the Freedom Convoy protests, which started on Jan 28 by Canadian truckers opposing a vaccine or quarantine mandate. It's always a lot of fun. If you want to have some drama, a big drama show at a family barbecue, just talk about the vaccine. It always brings out the worst in people. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. But what I need to talk about is what they started doing. So what they started doing was they started blocking access to the truckers' funds, right? Money. Now, this isn't a crypto thing, but it's become a crypto thing. And then the next thing they started doing was blocking access, telling exchanges like Binance or whatever they have in your country, hey, stop allowing these truckers, here are their wallet addresses, stop allowing them access to their funds, which just blew my mind. So I want to pause there for a moment because I'm really keen on what you think, Ahmed. You're back at home. What's the situation like? What's your sort of view? What are people saying on the ground?
Look, it feels like I'm in Saudi again. This feels very un-Canadian thing to do because Canadians are all for freedom, all for trying to make things easier for people. It's protests always happen here. There's Toronto's full of protests all the time, but it's about those protests happen, they get the point across, some legislation happens with it, some international actions are taken, and that's it. So this is very interesting to really push people to the point that, look, even if you're not going to take the vaccine, we're going to not let you have any form of funds. And these guys are trying to go through a decentralized method. So there's a lot of angles to the story, and very interesting in my opinion. I think right now.
What's the feel like? And I don't know how many days you've been back for, but what do people think about what he's done? Like, are they in favor? Because it's easy for me sitting in Australia to be like, oh yeah, bloody Justin Trudeau, pro Bitcoin. But what's the feeling like on the ground?
Yeah, no. I've been here for a few days, and I was actually talking to a friend of mine today. And it seems like it's a mix. There's a lot of people that don't like the whole aspect of forcing people to get vaccines. And then there's a lot of people that are like, no, you have to understand that the vaccine is for your own well-being, right? It's the both sides. I don't know which side you're on. I don't know what side you care about. I don't know if you think vaccines are a way to control people. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying there's two sides to the story, and some people are okay with what he's doing. They're not happy that it's being done. They're not happy that people are going through this, but they understand that without the vaccines, because America has a lot higher per capita COVID cases, and Canada's just trying to protect itself from those constant, in and outs of people. But then again, people are traveling, but those people who are traveling have a lot of strict regulations. If those guys are not fighting for it, do the truckers not fight for it also? So it's a mixed feeling here in Canada as of right now. That's what I'm seeing.
Got you. It's interesting. It's interesting nonetheless. I don't know. I think on the world stage, it's definitely made him look bad, but he's not about getting world votes, right? So that's quite interesting. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Moving on. I'm going to move on now. So now the thing about crypto, right, going back to the first question you asked me, where's everything going? Now, guys, I just sort of want you guys to focus on something. I'll take my screen share off for a moment. If you guys are subscribers to the show and you've been following us, if you're not, what are you guys doing? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Man, the very first episode this year, we said that Bitcoin is going to move in a sideways pattern for 3 to 6 months. We said that. So we are not surprised that Bitcoin hasn't hit all-time high. I didn't expect it to. Now, I don't think.
Why did it not move? I said.
Yeah, exactly. When moon will the devs do something? Like it's one of those. I got to be careful with my cat is sitting behind you. I'm trying not to run her over.
It's okay. We got a new guest. We got a new guest.
Yeah, so if you see me move back, it's because of my cat. But anyway, so this is not a big surprise. I've been following the inflation numbers, the Fed numbers since November, December. This is not a big surprise. Now, the timeline of what will happen that might change. but this is not a big you know, and I say that as a bit of a disclaimer because what I say today may not be all that new, you know, but I do want to add a little bit of color what we've been talking about. So if I go back to my screen share for a moment. Now, the thing you guys need to, you know, think about is, and you're thinking, why did Moby make a typo? Why does he have the oil chart? Let me explain something. So the biggest risk to crypto right now is how stocks will handle war or the threat of war. And we, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we said you have to take Putin seriously, but not literally. And also rate hikes, right? Rate hikes is a rate hike coming up in March. Now, the thing is when oils and bond goes up, crypto and stocks go down. So if you see on my screen here, this looks like a Safe Moon chart or a Shiba Inu chart. This is cold on the day chart. And you can see here, you know, we're hitting sort of all-time highs right now as far as gold goes because, and you guys might be thinking, you know, why are we so correlated? Well, this is the thing. It's almost like a catch-22. Everybody wants institutional, well, not everyone, but a lot of people want institutional buyers because they know that's what's going to make crypto, Bitcoin hit 100,000, 500,000, and by definition, all the altcoins that we're carrying. But you need to realize if the institutional buyers come in, that makes us more connected to the macro markets. Bitcoin doesn't move in silo anymore as much as we would like it. So when the, you know, hedge funds are losing all this money on their traditional stocks, and stocks have been taking quite a beating right now, they need to, you know, cover those losses. And they're going to likely do that with speculative assets like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like crypto. That's where they're going to sell off, right? So this is not all that surprising. So this is one chart that I'm looking at that I haven't looked at before, and that's oil, right? So when oil's doing really, really well, equities and crypto are, you know, it's probably not going to go in the same direction as oil. So that's one thing. The other thing too is I want to direct your attention to what's known as Total 3. Total 3, and you can find this on TradingView. It is the market cap of the entire crypto market, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So get rid of Bitcoin, Ethereum. This is what Total 3 is. Now, the level to watch, and unfortunately we lost this and broke this, is $700 billion. That's the total market cap of everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this is a really good chart to look at because I always talk about Bitcoin, right? And we know when Bitcoin moves up and down, you know, everything can move up and down at a higher magnitude, you know, more or less. But to look at it like this, and you can see this clear channel that we're in right now with the total crypto market, you can see here, and this is almost, I'm not going to do this properly, but it's almost a broadening descending wedge, which in the long term actually is quite bullish. But what it is telling us here is we broke this level from July, summer, you know, I guess your summer, not my summer, but the bottom of $700 billion. And you can see right now we're at $670 billion. So that was a little bit unfortunate, and it does give us a little bit of pause for concern. And the other thing we've got to think about as well, that March, you know, the Fed is going to increase interest rates in March. It's just a matter of how much they're going to do that by. And that's happening March 10. So we're likely going to see fear continue to increase until the end of Feb. This whole Ukraine thing, Russia thing, guys, we've said this before. You don't trade on speculative news. Even if the markets do, you don't, because it's, you know, often a lot of these things, they're for reasons outside of our concern or control. You know, like Putin, you know, every other day I'm seeing, oh, you know, they're going to attack, they're not going to attack, they are going to attack, they're not going to attack. Who cares, right? This is all short-term thing. In the end, the net, the macro effect of what's happening on crypto is extremely bullish. And you're going to see that every week from me, you know, in terms of what's happening fundamentally. The last thing I do want to show, I do want to look at the Bitcoin chart quite quickly. You can see here, we've got this descending yellow line, right? And we've hit this. This is definitely a trend line because we've hit it 2-3 times here, confirmation here. And then this here, Ahmed, right? You've seen this before. Some of our viewers may have as well, is what is known as a potential bump and run, where you break the trend line. So technically, we're actually above this descending trend line. We at this point of confluence here, and we could either go up or we could go down. Now, what's likely going to happen? Is we are probably going to bump a little bit, but we are likely going to go down. Now, the zone of support, you know, is 28,000 to 34,000. Do I think that's likely? To be honest, I don't know anymore. But what I do know is, you need to be prepared for that. But I do think we're likely going to have a little bump, a little bit of fake out. I think we're going to fall below this, and then we'll come back to the trend line. Now, if we actually do this and we go here, then we sort of play around here. That might not be a bad time to buy. But if we go straight down, to 34K, then that's something I'd be worried at. But if we're bouncing around the trend line, when we bounce off of it, that might be a good time to buy. Not financial advice. And obviously, stay tuned, subscribe. We're going to continue this analysis and see how the price sort of goes. Now, the other thing too that's happening this week, and this is why if I had to place a bet on whether we're going to go up or down this week, I would say down, because the other thing that's happening this week is President Biden is going to be issuing an executive order on crypto this week. So we mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. That's actually going to be happening this week, time of recording, some point in the week of the 21st of Feb, right? But when you look at sort of everything else is looking quite bullish. Now, one thing that's lost, and you would be remiss, or you'd be very easily not catching this news, is some of the on-chain metrics, right? So, for example, Bitcoin is currently, like, you'd be surprised to know this, Ahmed, the balance of Bitcoin on exchanges has hit a new low, the lowest it's ever been since November 2018. The lowest we've ever had. The amount of Bitcoin that's available, it's the lowest it's ever been. So all these markets, I mean, the equities market is already quite frothy, right? We know that already. And unfortunately, that's dragging Bitcoin down as well. But we have this situation where, Bitcoin's fundamentals just keep looking more and more bullish. You have, and I didn't mention this earlier, but there's a whole bunch of tweets and articles saying that Justin Trudeau is probably the best ad for Bitcoin we've ever seen. You know what I mean? So like, it doesn't matter. And the most passive Western nation you could think of, all it takes is one executive order and they can take away your money. Now, I used to say, probably doesn't bother us, Western countries, people live in these Western countries, but clearly that doesn't make you immune to having your bank accounts frozen. I'm not saying go out and put all your money in Bitcoin, but I'm saying there's obviously a very bullish case in times of uncertainty,
Yeah.
Moving forward is, I've said this before, but when it comes to uber wealthy people, like really, really wealthy people, they don't become wealthy by telling everyone their secrets. So with wealthy people, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. So, Charlie Munger, who's the vice president of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, they recently sank $1 billion into a crypto-friendly bank. Now, he's come out and he sort of said that, he calls, this is Charlie Munger, he calls Bitcoin and crypto a venereal disease. This guy's 98 years old. I don't know how much advice you're going to take from someone whose probably best years are behind them. You know what I mean? Like, mashallah, he's done his job. He set his life up. This guy's become rich not from Bitcoin. He's going to stick on what he knows, right?
Stocks.
Exactly. Like, why would you change it now? You know what I mean? Why would you change it now? You're not hungry anymore. You're 98 years old, man, But like, when you kind of look into this a little bit deeper, so they've invested in a company or a bank called Nubank, right? And they have a crypto. Now, it can be argued, or maybe they don't know, they're so rich, they don't know where their money's going. Just so you guys know, like, people like this, they know where their money's going. Like, they know exactly. Like, Warren Buffett is renowned. He's actually known for detail. Like, he's known, he will look at everything. Like, he knows the companies he's investing in. So maybe they don't care. Maybe it's such a small percentage of the balance sheet. But one thing I can tell you is that the company or the bank that they invested in, they have a ETF for Bitcoin, and their numbers from crypto-related products doubled. They went from 35 billion to, is that billion? I think 35 billion to 80 billion. And their valuations went from 24 billion to 63 billion. So the crypto stuff that this bank is investing in is going up, and these guys know that, right? So don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Ahmed, did you catch the Superbowl by any chance?
No, where was I during the Super Bowl? I think I was in UK, or I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know what was going on.
Did you catch the halftime show?
I haven't yet, but it's in my
Okay, that was a test. That was a test because you shouldn't, because Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre were there. Each to their own, right? But I don't know if you caught all the crypto. Like they said, this year was the year of money for crypto, and like we're talking about the start, right? You know, these big marquee brands. You know, doesn't matter what you sort of think of them, they are really pushing the tailwinds of crypto. You made a good point. The next 5 years, people who are getting into it, they're going to be new anyway. So the Super Bowl ads, you know, there was some stats around this that it increased downloads by 279%. And the winner, and I love this simplicity as the marketer in me as well. And because I'm an Office fan, if you remember Steve Carell's The Office, was this ad. You know, very low value, very cheap. It was a QR code where they're giving away like, I don't know, $25 worth of Bitcoin. This thing essentially crashed Coinbase. It's just going to show you like this, the money that's pouring in is like next level. Like this is not slowing down, you know, anytime soon. The other thing that's not slowing down anytime soon is NFTs. I remember putting something out like in April last year, a post on LinkedIn, and you know, I got comments, oh, this is just a fad. This is just a fad. NFTs are not a fad. They're not going away anywhere. The question is, how do you get exposure? Where do you get exposure, right? So this first article that I have here is pre-orders of Samsung's new Galaxy S22 are going to come with NFTs. Now, yeah, it's a little bit of a marketing ploy. It's fun to kind of jump on. By the way, it's in partnerships with Theta Labs. So if you're a Theta investor, great for you. I'm sure there was a pump there. But also it's going to give access like special rights, special privileges and membership benefits and privileges. And that's what people don't realize. Like communities have been around since the dawn of time. They will always be around. NFTs are often a gateway to that. It's not NFTs in themselves. In other news, even the New York Stock Exchange. Now, the New York Stock Exchange, Chicago Mercantile, Exchange, all those things, they're the most traditional businesses you could find, right? They're very, very traditional. They're not going to get into NFTs like Budweiser or McDonald's will just on a fad, right? These guys are really thinking about this quite strategically. They're getting into this because they don't want to be left behind. So these guys are filing for a trademark in NFT trading, right? And I like this, title. It's probably nothing. So this is it's based on your time horizon, right? Like in times of uncertainty, invest DCA in. It's the worst thing you can do is like just DCA when there's a bull market, right? Just DCA in. The concept of DCAing is you're putting in more money than you probably can afford. Less money than you can afford. So if you can afford to put in $500 per month, maybe you're putting in $200 per month, right? And you're doing that consistently. And you're looking for entry points. You're taking profits at the right time. Like when there's a big pump or dump, you don't have to look at it every day. That's the way to build generational wealth. That's how it happens over time, over a 5-10 year period. So I know sometimes we talk about the next big thing, and I've got a really big tip for you guys, but really that's the only way to do it. That's the most likely way. Last week I spoke about Habib and I spoke about the UFC. This week I want to talk about Dapper Labs, right? So Flow is very, very early OGs of this show. Remember, I was a Flow investor. I actually sold out of Flow at $12. It's sitting at about $6 right now. But I found this bullish, right? And not only because I'm a UFC fan, because UFC is still a smaller sport compared to some of the other big sports, but they obviously launched their marketplace recently. And they the same thing that they did with NBA Top Shots, they're doing now with the UFC. Now, these things sold out in hours. They were selling for $50 a pop. That doesn't make me bullish, right? The fact that it's UFC, that doesn't make me bullish. What makes me bullish about Flow specifically is the sustained behavior and the fact that NBA Top Shots, so NBA Top Shots was the first marketplace these guys did, and they did it for NBA, like these NBA moments, right? This is what makes me bullish. This thing was launched like over a year ago. It's old now. And it's still hitting records. So it's one thing for the UFC because people FOMO, right? We know like masses can be stupid, right? They'll just FOMO, oh, I want to buy, for instance, Ngannou, a Habib NFT, right? FOMO, they buy in. That's not the exciting part. That happens all the time. The fact that the NBA Top Shots, which was the first one that they released, it still hit a record month. And I think in Jan, they had the most transactions they ever had in a single month with more than almost 2 million, transactions. And their secondary sales hit 59 million. That is interesting because it shows community, it shows consistency, 1 year in NFT is a very long time. I say 1 week in NFTs is like a month in crypto. So the fact that this thing is still hitting records is still good. And again, not financial advice. I sold it out at $12. It's sitting at about $6 right now. I'm not an investor, so I'm not going to do any analysis on this today, but just something to look out for. If you one thing I will say, NFTs are not going anywhere. What you need to figure out is if you want exposure, where you get exposure. Now, the easiest, laziest way to get exposure in NFTs is just invest in spot ETH. It's got the best risk and reward, not financial advice. It's always going to go higher than, like, when Bitcoin goes 10%, it will tend to go higher. It has more room to grow, and it's also not going to crash as much. And Ethereum, it probably isn't going away anywhere in the next 10 years. That's probably the laziest exposure you can get to NFTs. If you want to get more, I guess, specific, then if you're into football, right? You might look at socios, or you might look at some other, So I guess I'll leave that to you guys. But the question you got to ask yourself is: do you want exposure to this? Do you believe in this? Moving forward, I want to. So AVAX, right? I know I sound like a broken record, but you just have to look at the price charts right now, right? So I put this tweet out at, when was this? This was 14th of Feb, so over a week ago, and we had this ascending triangle, and I said that this $75 was a good point of confluence. Because it was a 21-day moving average, it was the bottom of a rising wedge, and it's a strong historical support. We actually bounced off of that, and I was a little bit off. It went to $76 and like 10 cents, so I didn't hit $75, and it went all the way back up to like $80, $90, and now it's back. So let's look at how this sort of played out. You had this point here where I circled, and you can see here it's just repeating itself now. It bounced here. So that's where my sort of tweet was. It went up all the way to almost $100, actually. I was wrong about that, $198. And now it's back here again. And you see this like solid white line. This is a very, very strong level of support. It's been resistance 4 times, and it's been, support a bunch of times. So not financial advice, but I've got an order in personally at $75. I actually missed out at $76, so, and I should have said a little bit higher. And I've also got another order at $60 as well. Again, not financial advice, but it does seem to be one of those that it's still like it's barely underneath its 21-day moving average. It's one I'm really, really bullish on, and I think that will stand the test of time in a bear market. Last sort of coin I sort of want to talk about today is Helium Network. So Helium Network, it's one of those I haven't spoken about in a very, very long time. They recently raised $200 million, and they are valued at $1.2 billion. This is one of those crypto companies that not only is in crypto, but they have hard devices. They have a network. They are part of the Internet of Things revolution. And this thing doesn't tend to crash either. So, looking at the charts, again, not financial advice, we're at this point right now. So what are we right now? We're at $23. We're hovering around here. Yes, there might be potential head and shoulders. And if that head and shoulder plays out, you're looking at something like, what this is saying about, $14, $15. But one thing I will say, this Bismillah level, 786 level, is about $19. So if you felt like you missed out on Helium, like if you loved it at $40, you have to love it at 19. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think the opposite of what the masses are thinking. I'm not asking you to invest in it. All I'm saying, if you see the need, you see people making money on Helium, and you see the network growing, and I'm not going to waste time and talk about the network growing because it is growing internationally, then this thing here, like, sure, it might drop down a little bit low, but, it's a strong level of support. But on that note, Ahmed, I want to end it there. I do want to leave a little bit of time towards the end. I didn't end up talking about the gem that we spoke about last week, but I might kick it to you first, and we'll go back to your MRHB updates.
Fantastic. Just before I go into the MRHB updates on HNT and HNT mining and what it is.
Because you are a fan, I know.
Yeah, and I have my own miners. They're set up in 2 locations. Made my money back.
How are they going? How are your miners going?
Within a few months, we hit break even. So and now if I want, I can even sell the miners at a 2x profit, and then I can pretty much just hold the tokens as they are.
And they're still making money. Your miners are still making money.
Yeah.
How much per month would you say? Like each miner?
I'll have to check. I don't know. I'll have to check. Yeah, I'll have to check. But all these details are actually. I was just gonna say this. All these details you guys can find not in my next video, but inshallah the video after on my YouTube channel, because I go on a step-by-step guide on how to set it up, what it is, how you can make money on it, and all that stuff. Right, so that's gonna be coming out, let's say, in about a week from now or something like that. So inshallah, do check that out. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Okay, so what's going on with Marhaba? What are the updates on Marhaba? Let me see if I can share my screen here. I can. This looks good. Okay, let's do this. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, you can. Okay. Oh, not that. All right. Fantastic. All right. So this is our Twitter channel. I always come back to our Twitter channel as a form of sharing screen, because so I can show you guys, you know, that our social media gets all this information first, and then it comes to you guys. So you guys know about LBank listing. LBank listed on February. It's yes, yeah, February 6, 17. Um, and from there, we have been trading, and there's been a big push in the price. It came back down to about 7 cents. Still a increase in price, which is looking good. And now it's trading on LBank. In the upcoming few weeks, LBank will be having some exciting, trading competitions and stuff like that. So stay updated with that information on our social media and on our Telegram. In addition to that, our upcoming Sahal wallet will be launched very soon. We ran a quick poll to see, um, who's excited to see a sneak peek. So then we did release a sneak peek, which is right here. I kind of show you guys about what the wallet looks like. So you can see here. Now when you start the app, you get a little notification to start or create a wallet, and then if you already have a wallet, then you can import a wallet. Um, you know, you start a new wallet, you make it, you get the recovery phrase, and then you put on a piece of paper. Remember, you always write on a piece of paper, and then after that, you get access to the actual wallet. And this is the version 1 interface of the wallet. So you can see there's uh, your swap features, your buy send features. There's also the buy. Once you click on the actual tokens, you can actually buy the tokens using MoonPay, and then swap in between one or the other tokens. So, for example, you use MoonPay to get USDT, then you can swap it to get your MRHB tokens. Some really exciting things that are coming up, and you know how Mufti Billal was talking about Chronos, which is CRO's token today. You'll get the entire list of the halal tokens that they have screened on here. So and then soon after, version 2, version 3, version 4 will start coming out, and there's going to be developments on top of this. And once the other projects or the other products of our ecosystem are released, they're all going to be connected to this wallet. And so you'll be able to access your NFTs, your passive income, your philanthropy, all through this, right? So this is some exciting stuff that's happening. This is the first stair step to a very, very, very long staircase, and a very golden product at the ending of it, like it is for many big projects. All right,
That's super exciting.
and
Before you go off of that, so
yeah,
MoonPay, just to remind everyone, that should allow them to buy via fiat, correct? Like you don't have to go to like Pancake Swap. So is that right?
yeah, you're gonna save a lot of stuff. So, for example, on Sahal Wallet, all you have to do is connect, make a MoonPay account, and if you have Trust Wallet, you probably already have MoonPay account. But if you don't, it takes a few steps, just like PayPal account. But once you make the MoonPay account in crypto life, it makes your life easier. So, because then you can buy directly using fiat, use your credit card. Your credit cards will be able to buy you
That's awesome.
USDT, and then once you buy USDT, you can just exchange it for Marhaba, and
That's
then you have
awesome.
Marhaba tokens. Yeah.
And like you said, of course, this is the one where it's going to have all the Sharia compliant tokens only. And Ahmed, Justin Trudeau cannot take your funds because it's a non-custodial wallet, correct? So MRHB doesn't own
Yes.
it. We don't own it. Justin Trudeau doesn't own it. It is
Yeah.
non-custodial.
This is actually pretty funny. Today, a friend of mine, I was supposed to give him some cash and stuff, and I asked him, "Do you take crypto?" And I kind of explained the whole concept of non-custodial and decentralization, and he's like, "That's very interesting." So now we're talking about Justin Trudeau, and yes, you're right, exactly. It's non-custodial, so Justin Trudeau will not know it's your wallet, and you can send your money to whoever you want. So if you're one of the truckers, start talking about
Truck
Sahal
away.
wallet.
Truck away.
Truck away and start talking about Sahal wallet. Yeah, so that's a little bit about what's going on with non-custodial aspect of the wallet. Okay, so the next thing I'm sharing here is actually the MRHB airdrop, which is being done by LBank. It's nothing that we're pushing out. It's being managed and planned by LBank, and so they're going to be doing a airdrop of 200 lucky winners. So check out all the stuff that they're asking you to do and be part of that competition also. Um, Overall, I think that's the update. There are some exciting partnerships that are coming up, and our first exchange has been done. The second exchange and all those partnerships are in discussions, and so those updates will be coming out soon, inshallah, in the upcoming videos and also on our social media. That's pretty much it. I hope I didn't miss anything, because there's always some exciting things that are going on with the team and what we're doing. And yeah, I hope I didn't miss anything. But yeah, so that's our market update.
Fantastic.
Any
fantastic.
comments, any questions from your side, Moby?
That's exciting, man. That's super exciting. The gateway to the MRHB ecosystem, like you say, the first step.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. So we have one
Tomorrow.
more
That's
day.
tomorrow. Wow,
Yeah,
one sleep.
tomorrow.
So by the time you guys are listening, it should be out. So yeah, can't wait to
Yeah.
share
Yeah,
some
so
updates.
today, now, download it
Now.
now.
Already
Go on
yesterday,
Yeah, go on your phones, your iPhones, your whatever phones you're using, and download now.
Fantastic. So, Ahmed, I'll be really quick. It'd be remiss of me not to talk about my featured gaming token of the week, because we promised last week and we ran out of time. So I promise I won't take too much of your time. I know it's like 3:00 in the morning where you are, but essentially
4 a.m. 4:22.
4 now. By the time we're up to this point now. So I'll just share my screen. Go back to my screen share. Just do it like this. Okay, all right, fantastic. So now the featured, I guess, gaming metaverse token of this week, and it's a low cap gem as well. Because guys, it's good to be diversified. Yeah, I talk about the Ethereums and I talk about some of these bigger cat. And I know some people complain they don't moon, they move too slowly. Everyone wants to get rich. Well, high risk, high reward, right? So I'm not saying you're going to get rich off this, but it is, I guess, when you talk about gaming, right? How can you get exposure, right? You don't want to necessarily invest in every single game that's out there, but this is one that I spoke about a little while ago. It's called Sidius Heros, and I guess it is a metaverse NFT, gaming play essentially. Now, what they kind of call themselves, the first ever WebGL AAA play to earn game, meaning that they believe they're the first game with this level of quality that is play to earn. Now, if you look at something like Axie Infinity, which it can be argued, the network effect does count for something. So Axie Infinity, the game is just like very average. It's a very average looking game, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game. Obviously they have this a community, they have a lot of people playing. When you look at something like that started at, 2-3 cents, and went all the way to $100, it kind of gives you sort of some pause. But let's kind of look into it a little bit deeper. Now, one thing I will sort of say is, as a side note, they also have this staking feature. Not a lot of NFTs have this. So what you can actually do is you need an NFT to play the game, and if you buy a bunch of Sidius tokens, you can actually stake them. So you could stake 3,000 Sidius tokens. You'll get an APY of 10%, and you have to lock it up for 1 year. And to be honest, this is one of those that you would hold for a year anyway. Like you would hold for a while, right? And if it moons, it moons, right? You allocate these risk assets. is you allocate a smaller percentage. You allocate your 5%, your 10%. You don't allocate, what you would allocate for an Ethereum, right? Now, at current market level, it's sitting at about 4-5 cents. So you would need 3,000 Sidious tokens. That's like $150. Like, people pay that for an NFT anyway, to lock it up, and also kind of forces you not to touch it. Now, I don't have access to the demo anymore. I think they took the demo off. So if you jump on the website, you can see it. But I do some gameplay here, and you can see what I mean by AAA. Sort of kind of like that, that first-person shooter type of game. You can see it's quite high quality. The rendering is amazing. Anyway, you can check this thing out online yourself, and you can see, what it's all about. Now, just kind of looking at some fundamentals, just some news here. Where is that article that I found? They recently got a grant to develop on the Polygon network. Now, what does this mean? Two things. One, Polygon, obviously, we're huge fans of Polygon on the show. We've spoken about their fund and their growth. They're not just a layer 2 anymore. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. But also, they have a grant, and they don't just give it away to anyone. So this tells you, yep, they're integrating with a marquee name like Polygon, but also Ethereum as well. So indirectly, the growth of Sidious, that's why I say, just hold spot ETH if you're lazy. The growth of Sidious is going to, benefit Ethereum as well because of the utility. There was another article here that I saw. Yep, Sidious Hero receives investment from an Animoca brand. So the other thing I often talk about is when you do your research, look at who's investing, right? Who are the backers investing? So you've got Animoca brands. And so it's Australian based as well, which is a real, big thing. When you look at who Animoca brands actually invest in, you can tell, look, Axie Infinity, obviously marquee. They know what they're doing. Atari, talk about an OG. Dapper Labs, we spoke about Dapper Labs before. So the list goes on and on and on. So they have a good pedigree of investors, a good pedigree of the team behind them, and you can check them out on the website yourself. And right now, like I sort of said, we're sitting at around 4 cents. Now, I probably got in at about 5 cents. I bought most of mine at 6 cents, and it fell down to 5 cents. I bought some more. So again, not financial advice. It's obviously something that if you do your research and you look at the website and you're like, man, this game looks good. The investors look good. It's one of those small plays. I could get in with an NFT for $150, not financial advice. It could be something that has really, really good potential. But on that note, Ahmed, I'll leave it at that. It's my tip of the week. Do your own research. And guys, if you have any questions, if there's things you want us to look at, make sure you drop them in the comments. We really, really love your engagement. We've noticed the comments go down the last couple of weeks. So we want this show to be, dictated around what you guys want to hear about and want us to talk about. So definitely, please hit us up. And, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, for sure. You guys heard it. That's pretty much it for the show. As always, like, share, subscribe. And yes, please show us that engagement, because then that motivates us to continuously wake up in the middle of the night to film a show.
Grab the Mufti, pull him out of the restaurant. You know what I mean? I got
Exactly.
my family in the back. I got my cat here. It's 4 o'clock. So obviously, we love you guys and we love your support.
Exactly. But on a more serious note, yeah. So show us that engagement, because it's very important to continuously grow, and the more we grow, we all grow together. Look, you guys will already see that the holders numbers on our token has been increasing fairly well on the daily, and that's because people are seeing the discussions of Marhaba from this show, from the marketing, from the engagement. Somewhere, somehow, they're doing it, and that's because our community is spreading that word, and that's what we need. We need that engagement to grow, so our community spreads that word, and as the community spreads the word, more people find out about the project, and they become believers and holders and become part of this family. So share, subscribe, like, hit the bell notification icon, check us out on our other social media, and as always, take care of yourself. And if you're gonna be in the protest, wear a mask, or don't wear a mask, but protect yourself and protect your other colleagues also. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.